Welcome to episode 38 of the Mile 20 podcast, where epic shit happens. My name is Lori, and I'm here with my bestie,
Laura.
Hello.
Hello.
We are coming to you from the hot box.
Yes, we're in the hot box.
We're back together again.
Yes, Jim is not here this week, so this is good.
No,
Don't make it hotter.
And we will also be here very soon with Madi in a little bit, but not quite yet. Today we are coming to you. We're going to be recapping. We just ran the Atlantic City Marathon
Yesterday.
For the second time. Yeah, so our first time was in 2002 together.
2022.
22. Oh my God.
We didn't know each other
We
in
didn't.
2002.
No, we did not.
We knew each other, but like we didn't know each other.
We were not running. No, we did not know each other. Maybe in a previous life, but not in this one. Yeah, so this is I think we're gonna recap a little bit both races.
Kind of like the differences between what we experienced in 2022 and then
yesterday.
We did yesterday with Madi.
Yeah, so fun. It actually was a beautiful day.
It was a gorgeous day.
I think we're gonna touch on some 3 little topics.
Yes.
Little touch on Miss America.
Miss America.
Gluten.
It's no good. Thanks for that, dude.
You're welcome.
You probably needed to do that like a million more times to go and describe my experience yesterday. But that's okay.
Yeah. And
lesson learned.
The boardwalk. Boardwalk. Yes. Check us out on all of our socials. We are out there at Mile 20 Podcast, Instagram, Facebook. Listen to us wherever you find your podcasts. We are there. And thank you for listening.
Yeah, and subscribe.
Beverage of the week.
So I know begrudgingly you were like, fuck, I definitely don't want to drink anything tonight. We were gonna do the lame thing like water again, but like, you know what? We have to. So
no, we don't. But
so yesterday we'll describe kind of like what our experience was with our beer bitch, because we did have a beer bitch yesterday, which was awesome.
Yes, it was.
But one of the beverages, and I did say beverages that we partook in, was this wonderful unfiltered craft cider by Down East, and it's called Overboard, appropriately.
I'm very proud of you for not saying Down Easter.
I keep saying Down Easter yesterday.
You did.
And then it was Down Easter, Alexa.
It is not Down Easter. It is Down East cider.
Yeah. So, and this bad boy is gluten-free, which we know now today is super important.
Yes.
And
I think we knew before.
We did know.
That gluten-free is very important.
We did know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this one's got 8% alcohol, so that's not too shabby. So,
no.
Shall we partake?
I guess we shall. I think Madi has now joined us.
Has Madi joined us?
Welcome.
I have.
Madi,
And I'm drinking an oatmeal stout. Here's the can.
What's that?
It's by Black Masking, and it's got kind of like a goat that seems to be conducting a seance on the label. It's kind of cool.
Is it very fall and pumpkin-y?
It is very fall. It's not pumpkin-y, because it's just an oatmeal stout, but it's very like cozy weather feeling. And I've got it in my little ghost mug.
Your little ghost mug.
Because I was feeling ghosty one day.
I absolutely love that. I love that. All right. Well, I'm gonna pop mine open here.
Yeah, go for it. I'm gonna take a sip of mine. I popped mine open already.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Tasted better yesterday.
Oh God, yeah, it did. Although it tastes really good right now.
It tastes really good right now. I know my mouth just like kind of
it just puckered. Well, it's got that cider's just got that right amount of tart. I don't know, it gets my saliva going.
It does. That's exactly what I just had the sensation of. Like it actually, builds up the saliva, but then it finishes sweet on the back of your throat. It's like the craziest thing that I don't again.
But it was kind of not that, just a little bit jump ahead for just a moment. It kind of hit really nicely because it was a little hot yesterday, and I was getting a little dried mouth out. And then I had one of these ciders, and it hit right.
It helped.
Struck true.
Yep. I could spit again.
So true. So true. I guess we don't really have much of an epic week update since I feel like the last podcast, my whole week was leading up to the marathon this weekend for me anyway.
Yeah, the only other thing that I did last week was Jim and I went to the Westchester Chamber of Commerce. They have like their annual dinner. So that was up actually in Phoenixville. And it was nice. I got to connect with a couple of gals that I haven't seen in a while. So it was a
Where was it in
business thing.
Phoenixville?
It was at some country club,
Oh,
Riverside, Riverdale, River something. It's up off of 422. And a gentleman who used to be the CEO of Mainline Health actually won the award. They award a business leader locally. So his name
nice.
is Jack Lynch, and he absolutely had a phenomenal speech. Like, I don't know. I was like, yeah, I would have loved working for the guy. He seemed really just dynamic and just recently retired. So I was catching his vibe.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah. But other than that, it was Atlantic City all the way. Right, Maddie?
Yep. What's it called? I had one of my weekly volleyball games with my all women's team, the Passy Cats, up in Phoenixville. They have, I think, two nights of leagues that run out of the Phoenixville Rec Center, and one of them is all women's A, and the other is all women's like BB/B level. So it's a fun league, fun to play with my teammates, fun to, see everyone. So yeah.
Yeah, you always get vibed up after you get back from volleyball.
Yeah.
She always calls
Yeah.
me when she comes back from volleyball, by the way. I don't know if
Oh,
your kids do that, like they have like habits like that. But Maddie definitely has a habit now of like,
we're
oh,
getting there. I
yeah,
mean, mine are still freshly kind of new out there,
yeah,
you know. But I
yeah,
feel like every time Maggie calls me now, somebody else calls and interrupts, like DJ, who never calls me. So when DJ calls, I'm like, oh, I got to get that.
yeah.
Or like Dave called today, Maggie called me. And so I was like, well, DJ, when DJ called, I was like, hey, Maggie, it's DJ. He never calls me. I got to go. And she's like, fine. I see who your favorite is. And I'm like, I don't. And I see you all the time. And then today I'm on the phone with her on the way over here. And then Dave calls and he's on his way to the airport. And I'm like, hey, babe, it's your dad. I had to go. He's like, I just see, I'm just nothing in this family. You don't even love me. And I'm like, come on, that's a little dramatic. Like we talk, like of all of them, she probably calls me the most, her and Ella.
I love that. I love that. Ella should be expecting a package this week.
Ooh, she'll be so happy.
She's gonna be really, really happy. I haven't told you, Maddie, what I got Ella or Egla.
I
Did I
I
tell you?
heard the other day you were talking
I
about
did
it.
tell you. Okay.
Hmm.
Well, I'll reveal it next week. So for those listening,
Well, if
tune
she gets it
in and
before
you'll find
Thursday.
out what I got
Yeah.
at Penn State.
She better send us a picture.
She better.
Yeah,
She better. I'll be so disappointed in her if she doesn't send a picture.
I
So,
agree.
okay.
Well, are we ready to dive into all things Atlantic City?
Yeah, yeah. So Maddie, Lorri and I ran Atlantic City because you signed up for it. So why did you sign up? What made you sign up for AC?
So I had it in my mind that for this season I wanted to challenge myself and run two marathons while I was already trained up for Medoc. So I had deferred last year, similar to you guys, the Marine Corps Marathon and
Mhm.
had signed up for it. And shortly after learned that my good friend Lauren is getting married to her law school sweetheart next weekend. So I unfortunately will not run Marine Corps. However,
But hold
I
on. But
then
I think it's the ultimate thing to go and choose your friend's wedding over a
Oh yeah,
race.
I
Like,
am so thrilled. I
no
knew Lauren
judgment
and
here
Noah. Yeah.
whatsoever. So
I
yes,
not
knew Lauren and Noah like separately from each other before they started dating in law school.
which is
So like
awesome.
their couple
Law
story
school love.
amazing. They're like an old couple. It's brilliant. I love
I
it.
love that. I love that.
So yeah, anyway, so I was looking for another marathon to sign up for, and conveniently enough, there was one positioned the weekend before the wedding,
Hmm.
which was Atlantic City, New Jersey. So I signed up for that and apparently have one in 2 weeks as well.
Yeah. So culturally amongst our group, and definitely with Laura and I early on, we would do like this thing where we casually talk about a race, and like today. Let's just talk about today.
Like last week's episode.
Well, like yeah, like today. So like we had casually talked about.
I haven't even told her yet.
Oh,
Oh wait, and Jim doesn't know, so if he's gonna listen to this
well,
episode, he'll know. Oh
I
yeah,
saw
Maddie knows.
Lori's
Maddie
oops,
knows. Yeah.
Yeah, I fixed it in our group
Yeah.
chat.
Okay.
It's called Meta, just
Yes.
the background there. But so we casually talked about Jekyll Island. And there was just like a general like non-resistance
Well, we
to
said
it.
Jekyll Island or Baton Rouge. And
Baton Rouge,
like,
right.
And Jim said, oh, Jekyll Island.
Yeah. I mean, in our last podcast, yes. So like we casually was discussing this. So we kind of knew there was no resistance. So we were kind of all on board. So today, because this is what I do when I'm done with something exciting, I got to find the next exciting thing.
Junkie, and Dave called you out on that last
Yeah,
week.
I'm a total junkie. I'm like, Jekyll Island, can we stay where we want to stay? Oh yeah, lots of rooms available there.
Yeah.
We're going to stay there. Okay, I'm going to book that. I'm going to register here. And I'm like, boom, there you go. I registered.
And then she sends a screenshot in the chat. And I'm like, okay.
But see, now Maddie was more like a sniper.
You're really
like,
brazen. You're like, I'm
she-
just doing this. Like,
She knows that we do this to each other, but there was no feelers. We didn't get any warning. It was just like, boom, I signed up for Atlantic City.
and we looked at the picture of her registration. We're like, fuck.
Well, and additionally, I felt guilty because just like within the 24 hours prior to that, Maggie was like, hey, let's all do the Rocky Run. So I'm like, yeah, let's do that. I registered for that.
And then we had done the blob too.
And we'd done the blob, both supporting kind of Maggie's idea about runs. And then Maddie throws one up there, and I'm like, well, I can't leave Maddie high and dry. We're doing all this support on Maggie's races.
So you signed up actually for AC before I did, I think.
I did, yeah. I wasn't gonna leave her alone.
Because you were like, I can't leave her high and dry. And I was planning on doing that. But then, Maddie, you mentioned that you're running a race in another 2 weeks.
Well, Maggie got a bug in my ear.
Yeah.
And she pointed out that we would both make the Marathon Maniacs. Now, she at the time thought that I was running the Philly Marathon. I am not registered for the Philly Marathon, and it was sold out by the time I looked at it. Because Marathon Maniacs, you have to, I think you guys have probably talked about this before, but you have to either run 3 marathons in 90 days or 2 within 16 days. So I had been weighing the Rehoboth Marathon, which would have been 92 days.
Yeah,
And
bummer.
so I went on a hunt. It was probably like a 3-hour hunt for another marathon that I could do that was like drivable.
She's
That
dedicated to that.
what?
It's like 3-hour hunt, like looking
Yeah.
for
Oh, I was dedicated.
a race.
Maggie
Like,
totally got
I'm
on.
like, oh yeah, you are focused on earning that shit. Yep.
I mean, I got the training down as long as I don't
You
get
can't
hurt.
waste it.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm totally with you.
You're
So,
you're
yeah.
preaching to the choir right now.
So I found the Ocean City, Maryland Marathon, which it starts at the Ocean City, I think Boardwalk, and then it drops down into Assateague Island,
I love
which
that.
has wild horses and camping on the sand and stuff like that. It's very ocean feeling. So I signed up for it, and again, like a sniper agent, I just sent it into the chat and said, well, I registered for this. Oops.
And then that marinated for a bunch of days.
Yeah,
It marinated
Like
for a
I
long
was
time.
I was like, oh my God, we got Atlantic City Marine Corps, and now she's throwing out freaking Ocean City.
Those are 3 weeks in
It's
a row.
3 marathons in 3 weekends. And like I was like, oh, like so then finally like I signed up for it because I was like, mamas can't let the babies go and run freaking marathons by themselves. And then
I was like, well, that'll really fuck up our numbers if you do one without me. That's what I'm thinking, which is the whole reason why I deferred all last season. So I'm like,
I know.
here we go.
I know. So yeah, so we now have five, you and I have 5 marathons in I don't know what, a 2-month, 2.5.
Yeah, but now only
time period.
4. We're down 1. We got 4 more.
Yeah, so we're 20% of the way down.
Yeah.
That's what my boss said to me this morning. He's like, all right, like how'd it go? And I'm like, 1 down. He's like 20% done. I'm like, I love that. I love that. Which, by the way, I do need to call out that I'm super excited about going back to Assateague Island because the only time I've ever been there was when I was a young kid. I was maybe seventh grade, eighth grade, and my brother Ned, who we know has passed away, he was enamored by the ponies, the wild
Oh.
ponies, and they were everywhere on this island when I was a kid. I'll be interested to see like what the population is now. But my mom let him take her camera, and at the time, I mean, you're talking in the 70s. That's when it was like film, and
Yeah.
film was expensive not only to buy but also to develop. So Ned takes my mom's camera and she was like, "Yeah, you can take some pictures." And then she didn't monitor probably at the time the second grader was, if I was in seventh grade for third grader maybe, right?
Yeah.
So think about where a third grade boy's head is, right?
Right?
Well, he noticed that there were a lot of male horses
Oh
that were
my gosh.
excited. So, unbeknownst to my mother, the type of pictures that Ned took, she was not aware of them until she got the film back. Now, mind you, I come from a very, very tiny little town in New York
They think she has a fetish.
where my mother knew everyone everywhere. So the film got developed at like the little like five and dime store, in town. I can't remember the name of it, but she knew like everybody, like their kids went to school. She was the high school secretary, and stuff. So she gets home and she opens up this packet and there's like one horse penis. We were all like, Ned, and he was like, what? So just as an FYI, if there are any horse penises, I will go and stop and take a picture.
Fair.
Good to know.
All right, so this is
We digress.
I know we digress. This is like a little bit of backdrop over, the next couple of weeks and what's in store because we have Marine Corps next week, and then we will bring Maddie back again to do a recap of the Ocean City, Maryland marathon as well. So, all right, so the cool thing about AC that you selected, Maddie, is that it's flat, pretty much.
It's flat.
I mean, the
Flat.
A lot of
maximum
it's on the boardwalk.
elevation, yeah, the maximum elevation of the race, like the gain is 200 feet, but you also lose 200 feet. And that's really the first part of the race
Yeah.
where it's really just all bridges, like,
Yeah.
man-made bridges.
Overpasses and yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like
Circling Borgata.
yeah, the front part of that race is you leave from Bally's,
The boardwalk.
right on the boardwalk, and then you run a little bit on the boardwalk, but then you kind of take a left-hand turn, and next thing you know, you're headed out towards the Borgata.
And you do run along the bay for a while.
Yeah.
There's a pretty view there along the water, but then it does kind of feel like we're figure eighting and circling the Borgata,
Like, look, kids, Big Ben Parliament.
it's like 20 times a Borgata, but it's not. Like I went back and I'm like, how many times did we do that? And I look back at the map and no, it really wasn't. It was only a
It felt
few
like it though,
times.
didn't it though?
But it really did. It felt
Yeah.
like we did that like 5 times.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I thought so you guys, the first time that you ran, you were saying that you didn't pass the fishing boats that were near there. And I think the race director, when she was on, said that they made a couple changes so that you could run past the fishing boats. I thought that was a nice addition.
I agree.
Yeah.
It was a cute little neighborhood to run through, and I think a couple of the people from their houses were outside, like either playing music or
I liked the guy at
runners,
the
that kind of
end.
stuff.
Like, I can't remember what song he had going on, but I'm assuming it was probably his
Was
wife.
Do you remember
Do you remember?
the 21st night of
Da,
September?
da. And he's like all high fiving and stuff. He's like dancing up like
Yeah.
the cones, and we gave him some high fives. But yeah, that was like super nice. I enjoyed that. So yeah, but the marathon, it's not just a marathon that day, right? There's other races that are happening kind of concurrently.
Well, you start with the half marathoners.
Yes.
So I think right at the start, we realized that, we were going to reach a part of the course where it thinned out very rapidly.
Lonely, so.
But then I think we were ready for
we
it.
were so ready for it.
Yeah,
you
when
know.
it happened. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially at the point where it was right before the turnaround, and there was a gal that she kept like surging, like she would like sprint and then she would stop and then she would sprint and then stop, like it will walk, right? But and like like people interval and stuff. But it was like the way in which she did it, where like at some point in time she touched you with two hands,
Two
right?
hands on my shoulder and went, "Excuse me," like almost like a small, gentle push. It wasn't like a push. It was just like a gentle, but it was two hands. And I'm like,
So y'all, if you're not a runner
don't
and
put
you
your hands on
decide to
me
run, or if you are a runner, you don't touch another runner
purposefully.
purposefully unless somebody is falling and you're trying to like help them in some way. You do not touch another person on the course. Like
No.
that's no.
I was just, and
No.
especially because I felt like there was plenty of room for her to get around if she needed to.
And then you were like a dick to her, man. You were like, remember what?
Well, that's because we were playing a Seven Nation Army. Was it Seven?
No, Kendrick. It was
Oh,
Kendrick.
they're not like us.
Yep.
Yeah. And it was like that. Yeah, and
It was like a whoop, whoop, whoop.
yeah. So I ran by her, got in front of her, and it was literally at the turnaround, and it was like, they're not like us. They're not like us.
Whoop.
Yeah.
So what could she have done differently in that circumstance as like runner etiquette? What's one thing that she could have done differently?
So runner etiquette is like if you're going to interval, you shouldn't be in the middle of a walkway anyway. You should kind of be off to the side. So she probably should have been off to either the left or the right. It was confusing as at that time as to where we were all supposed to be running. So for that, but either way, you should still be off to the side. And a polite little "excuse me" would have been suffice.
On your
And
left.
on your
On your
left, on your left, and I would get out of your way. You do not have to touch
We've
me.
done that. We've done that when things have been a little tight on your left, and then we single file.
Yeah.
If Lorri and I are running together. Now the other thing is that when you see runners that are running together now, and we didn't hog up the boardwalk where we ran three across. It was really like two of us running and then like one kind of like in between us, but like behind us, right? So like we didn't take up like three across. At some point in time, like she ran in between us, and we were all wearing the same shirts, and they were like neon pink. Our shirt said, "You don't do basic shit. You don't do epic shit with basic bitches."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how did I almost like reverse that?
I don't know, man. It's your phrase.
Right?
It's because all of our oxygen is still replacing all of our muscle tears in our legs.
It's
not in our
There's
brains right
nothing
now.
going to my brain right now.
Nothing.
So
There's a lot of lactic acid in my
and then
body.
at some point in time, she kind of like wove her way in between us. So, and again, you just don't do that unless like it's like dire, and it wasn't dire because then she ran by us, like ran through us at some point in time. And then she stopped, and I'm like, what the fuck?
And walked. Yeah.
And walked. And it was like, all right, dude. And then when she like did the turnaround at like mile 13.1, or like we were like, fuck you.
Yeah, like bye,
Felicia. So yeah, we were really, really happy about that. So all right, so
we're digressing.
Yeah, we're totally digressing.
It's like herding kittens
It's okay.
right now on this
It's okay.
topic.
Because again, there's no oxygen. So we did find out from Jeannie when we went and interviewed her last week. So again, Jeannie's the race director. So if you missed that episode, definitely tune in because you get a little bit of behind the scenes of how this marathon came about.
Yeah.
And we did find out that Atlantic City is the third oldest continuously running marathon.
Yeah, I think that's super cool.
Right?
I didn't even realize it was that historic.
I did not know that as well. But also the whole thing about Atlantic City is that, like people know it for gambling, casinos, the beach, the boardwalk, but also the Miss America pageant started in Atlantic City. And here's some cool facts. So it began in 1921.
That's awesome.
And it originally was called the Inner City Beauty Contest. So it was totally a beauty contest. And they started it and they did it in September so they could prolong the summer season. And people would still hang out at the beach, like to go and see this beauty pageant.
Now they run marathons.
Yes, now they run marathons. So it was held every September. And then it used to be at Convention Hall, which is now called Boardwalk Hall. It moved to Vegas in 2006 and then Connecticut. Did you guys know that it was in Connecticut? I was like,
had
what
no
the fuck
idea.
is it in Connecticut, right?
I don't know. I had no idea.
And then it actually returned to Atlantic City from 2013 to 2018. But now it's pretty much in Vegas. So we did have a little stint where there's was like a bronze statue
Yeah.
where they have like a little crown and you can like stand underneath it and like pretend that you're being crowned as Miss America. So
Yeah.
each of us had a little stint at that.
I have to say, I feel like that part of the boardwalk's pretty cool because it's, I always appreciate, we always appreciate when we travel, like the historic piece of where we are. And I feel like that, what is it called? The Boardwalk Convention Center?
Yes.
Like that was built in like the early 1920s, I
Yes.
believe, or sometime like 20, it was either 1923 or like 1928. I can't remember which one, but I mean, it's a historic building in and of itself.
Yeah, was it the Hook? The Hook, one of you guys looked at.
That said 1929, I think, on
Yeah,
the
right.
outside of
That's
it.
like that right during like the Great Depression too. You think
Well, yeah,
that?
1929 would have been the start of the Great
Yeah,
Depression.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think what's fascinating about all of that kind of converging timeline-wise is that a lot of like media and stuff like that was not, it doesn't depict the time frame between World War One and World War Two. So like there are very limited materials about the time in between the two great wars. So it's kind of cool that a lot of things were happening in Atlantic City at that time.
yeah,
Yeah. Very much so. So, and it is cool because I do feel like they are trying in Atlantic City to make it more Vegas-like. I think online betting, it used to be back in the day, we're all from the Philadelphia area, that gambling was illegal in Pennsylvania. So there were no casinos here, which became legalized sometime in the last 10 years.
yeah, a decade or so. Yeah,
Yeah, 10 to 15 years. And I think that has like kind of killed the casinos, that and online betting, because people don't need to go
yes,
into the casinos to do it anymore. So Atlantic City's gotten a lot quieter, but they keep trying to reinvent and figure out ways to reinvigorate their economy. And I did notice, like that Hook show, the Hook, I did not see that show there when we were there
no,
3 years ago.
no,
So and they are starting to bring some bigger names and acts. Like I think Zach Brown has been in Atlantic City. When we were there, Stevie Nicks was there the night before the marathon.
which created a total people watching vibe.
Oh
Because
yeah.
man, the gypsy was out, baby.
Yeah,
Like
it was.
I loved
Lace.
it.
lots of lace and long like dust coats and
The
oh yeah,
leather too.
lots
Like,
of leather.
Yeah.
Yeah,
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 it
yeah.
worked. It worked. I loved it.
I loved it.
It did. Yeah, it was awesome.
Although I think so we had talked briefly about potentially seeing Stevie Nicks the night before the marathon. I think we talked ourselves out of it for reasonable reasons, uh, and logistical reasons. But you guys had commented that your outfits wouldn't have been up to snuff.
No, not at all.
Not what we wore. I mean, dude, I had like a J. Crew sweater on. Like,
Yeah.
you had loafers on.
I had loafers on. There, I didn't have an ounce of lace on my body
No,
or
we could not
leather.
have just winged that and just gone to the concert because you gotta do the vibe.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. We did do something cool last week. We went to our with our husbands
Oh
to
my
go see
God.
Mumford and Sons.
We did. We went to Mumford and Sons. Oh my gosh! Wow.
Boobs.
Tuesday night, right? It was
Yes,
Tuesday night.
it was Tuesday night, and we
Yeah.
went to a casino to have dinner.
Yes. Yeah,
in
we went to
Philly.
live. We went to live and had a wonderful dinner. And then we saw Mumford and Sons, and they were freaking phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
Oh,
So good.
yes.
Very good. Highly
At
recommend.
the Xfinity Mobile Center.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was
Yes.
wonderful.
Yes. They were great. How did we forget that?
I don't know. Because our brains are deprived of oxygen.
What the hell? So
So
the
bad.
the cool thing about Atlantic City though is that we could drive there.
Yeah,
It was an hour and a half drive.
tops.
And and it was relatively easy drive. I mean, there were a couple crazy people on the road, and we had some heavy traffic, at least the coming from the direction that Maddie and I came from. But yeah, what about an hour and a half, Matt?
Yeah, roughly. Yeah, the so for those who listen who are not from the East Coast, maybe the New Jersey drivers have a bad rep that is an accurate rep frequently of just like doing some crazy stuff while driving, and you just
It's a
kind
little
of you
disregard for
let
other
it all
people.
happen in front of you, and you just kind of back off of them when you see that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. This is true. Very
I
true.
find that they're very clingy. They drive slow in the fast lane, and then you try and pass them in the slow lane, and then they want to speed race you at 85. Then you finally get around them doing 90, and then they back right off and go back down to 65. And I'm like, what was that all about? Just get the fuck over.
I don't
Sorry.
want you to beat me. I
Sorry.
don't want you to beat me.
That's my rant. I'm done.
Yes. Yeah. All right. We'll get off of that particular topic.
Yeah.
So Maddie, where did we stay?
We stayed at Caesar's, which is themed after like the Roman Caesar. So when you step into the hotel lobby, it's like this blue, slightly cloudy sky as the ceiling, and they've got a giant statue of Caesar.
Quiet.
And, they've got Roman columns within the hotel lobby space. Like it's very done up. It felt like you stepped into kind of like an amusement park space.
That's accurate.
A little bit like Epcot.
Yes. Yeah, a little
Yeah.
bit.
I remember you making a comment about the ceiling, and you're like, oh, and I'm like, oh, that's right, you haven't been to Vegas yet.
Yeah, they
No, I
do
have
to
not.
make you feel like you've actually been outside. In fact, you probably haven't seen the light of day in like 4 days because you've been in a casino gambling.
Yeah, yeah. But we did go, and I want to point this out. So for anyone who is going to do the Atlantic City Marathon in the future, and you want to stay close to the start. So the start was at Bally's, but the Caesars Resort is like what, like
Next door.
like right next door,
It's right
right?
next door. I would almost say that,
It's a stone throw away.
yeah, it is so
Right.
close.
So that's
Yeah.
why I picked Caesars, but you need to be very cognizant and do your research on the different hotels, because the hotels are older and they're all going through renovations at different times. And so when I was booking Caesars, the one thing that I did was research on, hey, has there been any renovations? So the Centurion Tower, so they have different towers. The Centurion Tower is the one that has been renovated. It's not cheap to go and reserve a room there. We got a room with 2 queen-size beds.
It was very nice.
Yeah, very, very nice.
The room was
Very
quiet.
nicely done,
and
right?
it was very quiet.
And
Like,
even the hallways were nicely
Yeah.
done and bright.
Yeah.
Like very, very different from when you're in the casino. You're in the casino and you're like,
Like that dingy dark yellow light. Yeah.
yeah.
For the record, none of us gamble. So if gambling is your thing,
Have at it. Have at it.
Listen, I will camp at a craps table one of these days. I want to. My dad taught me at some point. It's a fun game, but it's a commitment, I think.
yeah.
Yeah, but we didn't do any gambling.
Last time, so this was great because it was 100% convenient. Right, start, finish line, it's all right
We really
there.
didn't have
'cause
to
it's a
touch the
thing.
cars if we didn't want to.
Yeah, last time when we went, we stayed at the Borgata. You
Yes.
booked the Borgata. Again, a lovely property. I feel like we had a beautiful room. The casino is nice. Casino felt clean, a lot like Caesars, maybe, but a lot newer.
Yes.
But you did have to drive morning of. I mean, you could have walked. It's just far
Mhm.
for a walk before a marathon, but it was just better to drive. So that was, a trade-off that you decided.
Yes.
That
I was like, I'm gonna pay more to
Yeah.
have the convenience, and that way then we could use the bathrooms.
Which was lovely because actually we didn't leave the property until 7:30.
Yeah.
The race started at 8.
Later.
Oh, 8. Yeah, it was. It was like closer to 7:45. And
Yeah.
the race started at 8. So literally we walked through the casino, down the stairs, onto the boardwalk,
And
to
we
the
were
start
there.
line. Yeah. It
Yes.
was so easy.
Yes. So
I
very
don't
good.
think I've ever had that kind of experience.
All right, so we landed at Atlantic City on Saturday because the race was on Sunday.
Yeah, and it's close enough for a day trip.
Yes.
Overnight.
And so we ended up going and grabbing some food before we went to our packet pickup. So where'd we go, Laura?
We walked down to the beer garden of Atlantic City.
The Beer Garden.
Beer garden.
Yes.
The
Hofbrauhaus Beer Garden.
Which is perfectly located. It's got a lot of outside seating, big TVs. It seemed like it was a good place to go because that's our typical vibe before a race for lunch, or we usually try and find a place that has some beer, wine, cocktails, and food. I would have to say I wasn't overly impressed with our service.
No,
We had to be very proactive about our service. Other
like
people,
multiple times.
yeah, I felt like other people got service better than us.
Mhm.
But yeah, we kind of had to be like, hey, can we get menus? Hi, we're ready to order. That
Hi,
type of
can you
deal.
get the check? Yeah. Yeah, but the we did have Maddie, you and I had was it a blackberry cider?
Yeah, it was the Down East Blackberry Cider.
Yeah. So
We were trying to do a preview of the Down East ciders for the next day.
yes, yes, but I really, really like the blackberry, but I've never seen that on the shelves.
Oh, it's there.
Oh, you've
I've
seen
seen
it?
it. I've seen it.
I need
Yeah.
to go and find that then because I really, really enjoyed that. It wasn't too sweet, it wasn't too kind of bitter or sour. I really, really like that a lot.
Donnie's does a nice job.
Yeah.
I had the Beer Garden IPA. It was a hazy IPA. It was pretty good. Not my favorite.
Which is not what you wanted. You wanted the wicked weed.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's not theirs. That was actually their brew. So
Yeah.
it's pretty good. I think the Wicked Weed would have been better, but
Mhm.
to each their own. I like Wicked Weed.
Yeah, but let's
That's
talk
out of
about
Asheville.
gluten. So with my meal and with Lori's meal and with Maddie's meal all came French fries. And as a person with celiac, French fries are always kind of tricky. They can go and actually have gluten. So sometimes like French fries are made with flour in them, believe it or not, to go and like then create a faux French fry that then bolsters, like the amount of potatoes that like are not needed in a French fry because you're bolstering it with flour.
Makes it a little crispier too when you fry them.
Well, sometimes French fries are coated with a light layer of flour. So that way, as Maddie, you're describing, that when you fry them, they don't kind of like disintegrate or get too crispy, or they get like this nice, like crispy layer on the outside. So when the French fries come out, Maddie looks at one of them and she's like, oh,
No,
and
no, 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 no.
I've become one
You're-
of those gluten sniffers.
Let's-
I'm trying to like not remember that I'm not.
Oh, I remember it. They serve the fries. You grab it and pop it in your mouth. And Maddie's
so
like,
good, and she's like, ah.
Maddie goes, Mom, that looks like that has gluten on it.
I'm like, you think?
Oh, I think.
And then you proceeded to pop more in your mouth, though.
God, you're so good though.
Yeah, you did.
And
You had some of the
honestly,
truffle cheese ones.
and honestly, I know better. I know better.
Yes, you do.
I know better. All I have to say is I know better. And sometimes the gluten will hit like 30 minutes after, an hour after. Didn't hit until the next morning. And then through most of the race. Did it hit like that night?
Yeah, I think you
Right
had.
before packet pickup.
Yeah, I feel like you had
Oh,
a.
I had my first blowout right before packet pickup.
Yeah.
An hour after.
Yeah,
Yes.
oh, that's right. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that's it, girls, that's my gluten attack. And then that gluten just kind of like latched onto the bacilli in my small intestines. And I was like, oh, you are so fucked.
But at least it didn't keep you up all night.
It didn't keep me up. I mean,
you weren't up and down.
it was more the hot flashes that kept me up at night. But yeah, man, like, I don't know, that stuff messed me up the next day.
Allergens can stay in your body for 48 hours. Anyway.
Yeah, I will never, and I've said this in the past, but I will never, ever, ever do that again before a race because that was like the dumbest thing I could have done. And I will say that to you both, and I'm sorry that like I detracted us because I had several long potty stops.
Yes, it was very unlike you. And I just want to note for the record, I didn't once take a selfie of myself while you were in the Porta John. I just want to say that out loud. Unlike some people I know that do that to other people.
That feels targeted.
Meaning you doing that to me.
I did take one picture of
And
when
we
you
did
had
take
to
me-
go off the course to go
I
get
had
a bathroom.
Yeah.
I think I ran an extra half mile, like to
You
go to the
totally did.
bathroom. And then I was like, nobody go by my watch because I'm running an ultra today.
Yeah. It was way off course. It was like at least a city length of a city block.
It was bad, y'all. Like and I have hemorrhoids, and those things started raging too. It's just getting old sucks. So it was not a good day for me bowel wise, but I think after the last, I can't remember the last bathroom step I hit, and then I was good for like the rest of the race. Just maybe
All
like the last
That's
5
like
miles.
22, 21, 22.
So the packet pickup was good.
So we're going back to packet pickup. So she had her first blowout right before the packet pickup. So then we went to packet pickup. Yeah.
And we continued drinking at the packet pickup because they actually had complimentary Tito's, mixed
With
drinks that they
everything.
were serving at the packet pickup, which was awesome. I've never
Yeah.
seen that before.
I've never seen that either. There was a lovely table right at the exit, which seemed it was lovely. That said apple cider mule. And what else? There was an iced tea, like a
Yeah.
raspberry iced
Yeah, there were different iced
vodka.
teas. I had gotten like a white peach tea or something along those
I
lines
went for the
with vodka.
apple
Cider mule.
cider mule.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too. It's delicious.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
agree.
So the packet pickup was very small, it was super easy to navigate, not a lot of vendors or anything.
Yeah, and they give you a QR code in your email.
Yeah,
Which did you have a QR code? Did you
they
use
did.
yours? And did
Yeah,
you use yours, Maddie?
I used my QR code.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah, because I couldn't find my email, even though I like knew that I had seen it like the day before. I couldn't find it in my email. I don't know what the hell's going on with my email. But they accommodated. They were like, hey, as long as you have your driver's license, I was like, and they were able to go and give me my bib number. So
yeah,
yeah,
that's wonderful.
yeah.
They did have, I think, like some massage tables I saw, but really not a lot there. They did have some like a one vendor with all the basics of things that you could use or need, which was nice for fuel because I was able to pick some up.
Yeah, and and you pointed out that the honey stinger folks have gluten-free waffle options.
Yes.
So I did not know that, so I grabbed 2 of those.
Yeah.
But so I haven't
They're
partaken
delicious.
in those yet, but I
Those
will go and
waffles.
yeah, we'll go and have one of those this week when we run.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I also thought that it was cool because they also had a vendor, and I think Jeannie mentioned this when we interviewed her last week, where they had a vendor with all different types of shirt styles, sweatshirts, t-shirts, hats, like you name it, bags. And then they had a logo for the marathon, and you can get the logo put on any type of shirt that you wanted.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like the shirts that we're wearing right now that we'll describe here in a little bit from the actual race, but it actually had like a generic, like kind of like oceany, like sunset kind
Yeah.
of like.
These kind of vendors, I know at swim meets, like the big swim meets, but I think probably in other types of sports too, where they're just all the iron
Yeah, the
irons
iron
with the
irons.
decal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I thought that was
I
cool
think
that they
it's
had that.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty typical too for New Jersey stores because I remember going in as a teenager maybe to some of the Jersey Shore shops
The shore shops.
and the shore shops.
The shore.
Um,
Sure.
The shops at the
and
shore.
you
The
could
shops
get
at the
a
shore.
shirt or pants or something printed on the spot.
Yeah.
And they do use like the iron-on press kind of technology.
Maddie, do you know that I did that in high school? That was my job at the different drummer.
I did not know that. Oh.
Mm. I was the decal. Do you call it the decal person?
Wait, the
The
decal
decal
I was the
sticker,
decal gal.
the sticker gal.
And I was precise, man. I used a fucking ruler to go and like make sure that freaking shit was centered on like the freaking crew
It took you
necks.
2 days to get your shirts back.
That's not accurate. I did it right on request. But yeah, no, we had a decal machine at the different drummer. And dude, you did not want to go and put any part of your body part on that the part that comes
The
down.
iron.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, that thing was so freaking hot. You can go and like do a facial, like just from the
Eek.
steam coming off of that thing. Yeah.
So just really quick, we digressed again.
Sorry.
In comparison, so the packet pickup was at Bally's, which
Yeah.
is also where the start was. When we were going through the casino at Bally's versus Caesars, I felt like I don't know what the rooms look like at Bally's, but if there is a comparison between the casinos and the way the casinos feel and the way they're decorated and stuff, and if that also applies to the rooms upstairs.
The 70s.
I'm thinking I like Caesars. I recommend Caesars over Bally's, but I haven't been in the room, so I can't say for sure. That's just a casual note. I'm not sure I'd want to stay at
And the
Bally's.
difference between packet pickup this year versus in 2022, they had a lot of construction going on in the hotel at
Yeah.
Bally's in 2022 because it was at Bally's as well. And I just remember because we had done packet pickup separately in 2022 because you had like a kid function going
Yeah.
on. I got there early, so we both did packet pickup at a different time. And I just remember going through like a ton of, like hallways and stuff, and this like turn left here, turn right here. Whereas this past year, it was very, very easy to go and find where
It was
packet
very
pickup
easy,
was.
yeah.
So signage was great, like, no problems, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything to recap more about the packet pickups?
No,
No.
no, no.
Now, after packet pickup, we checked into our room,
Yes.
got up there, and it was beautiful. And
Ocean view.
Ocean view.
And then we got to see the 7-foot people in the water.
Well, yeah, I was like, are people swimming in the water?
Yeah, because it's like, the water is so warm in the Atlantic.
They're pylons.
in
They're pylons.
October.
I know. Listen, I was walking by a window. I think it's all things in the water, and I'm like, are those people? I didn't know. I didn't see.
Maddie, what were they?
They were pylons for like old docks or something. I don't know.
Piers,
But
yeah, yeah.
no, not
Like
people.
like
Definitely
7-foot
not.
pylons, like hanging up.
We
But
were on
but
the what 39th
yeah, we
floor.
were on the 39th floor, but we kept pointing that out like all weekend
Yeah.
long after that. It's like, hey, look at the people in the water, Lori.
Yeah, they were out there swimming. Could have been surfers. How am I supposed to know?
Now, we had a reservation for dinner
Oh, we're
at
skipping our cocktails.
no.
Oh,
No,
we're
good.
circling back.
No.
Okay.
We had a reservation for a pizza joint that we'll talk about here in a minute. And then we had to do our mile 20 drop off. So before that, we were like, we have a little bit of time to kill.
So what do we do?
We went and found a bar. And we found this place called Vue.
The View. I thought it was View.
The View?
You.
The View? Oh, I wanted to call it Vue, like our champagne, like Vue.
No.
But no, it's the View.
It's the View.
I'm sorry.
But it's VUE,
E.
but the U has the 2 dots over it, right?
It's a View.
Is it the 2 dots or was it a line?
Yeah, it's called an umlaut. Yep.
An Umo?
Umlaut. It's used in German language. It gives
Umle?
for use it's an un sound.
Une.
View. View.
I'm gonna take the Downeast away from her here in a minute.
It's almost done.
It's that 8% hitting now.
With no lunch in my tummy. All right, so the place was called The View. We did find it's a rooftop bar.
Yeah.
And it's on top of the Claridge Hotel. So here's a little bit of stuff that I read on the Claridge because it's a historic hotel. And like Lori, you had mentioned, you're like, oh my gosh, I've always wanted to go into this place because it's a brick hotel.
Yeah, it's old. I mean, it's definitely like a 1920s.
Like, the shit's been around for a long time,
Yeah.
right? So here's some stuff. It opened in 1930 during the Great Depression. And it used to be called, like it was nicknamed the skyscraper by the sea because there were no other tall buildings. It was the tallest building like in the area. And it just like totally stood out. And Marilyn Monroe stayed there in the 1950s. So it still had like some glam to it at that point in time. And then this is an interesting one. And I'm like, I kind of want to fact check this, but I did get this on ChatGPT. It was considered the tallest building in New Jersey until 1989. And I'm like, Newark, New Jersey and Jersey City, like they have tall buildings. I'm like, and this one's 24 stories tall.
Huh.
I'm like, probably need to go and fact check that one.
Yeah, but yeah,
89?
we don't know about Jersey City because that has boomed.
And Newark.
Jersey City has been like in a more recent boom.
Right.
Newark, I feel like, has been around for a while.
And I remember like driving friends down to like the Newark airport in like 91 when I was at West Point, and there was a skyline. So
yeah.
I'm like, ChatGPT, I kind of call bullshit on that one. But anyway, we can go and fact check that.
Or if anybody knows, please leave a comment.
Yes, leave a comment. Leave a comment and direct us the right direction. But it was cool because they had a happy hour which I thought was really neat because the first round, like I picked up, I think you both got like seltzers. I got a very generous pour of a Cabernet. It was like $20 for like 3 drinks in Atlantic City. So I was
With
like,
a view.
with a view.
Mhm.
So, and it was a little windy, a
Love
little
you.
cool. We kind of hunkered down like in a corner and
And
stuff.
and honestly, it is off season there.
Yeah.
So like most of their furniture was put away for their outside patio area.
Yeah, there were no cushions on the couches.
But
I
it
sat on.
but it was warm enough for us to be out there and
Yeah.
it was open, so we went out.
Yeah. And the view was spectacular.
Yeah, it was very nice.
Yeah, you got to go see like straight down. But then, I think we did a second round of drinks.
Yeah.
I think you came out with 2 seltzers again for you and Maddie, and then a vat of wine for
Oh
me.
my gosh.
This wine pour had to be like 6 inches tall.
It was a full glass. It was a full glass of wine. It was not like a
was a big
normal
full glass.
wine pour.
No.
Like it wasn't like the quarter to half a glass of wine pour that you
The
get. when-
bartender's like, they're running the marathon tomorrow. I'm gonna
Yeah, for real. I was like, damn.
They
But the
need to hydrate.
bartender was so animated and so nice. Like the service at this place was top notch. So if you are in Atlantic City looking for a place for a happy hour and in the evening, I highly recommend the View and the Claridge because that was a really good time.
Agreed. And if you're looking to go and watch some games on a Saturday or a Sunday, they did have several TVs going in
Yeah.
the bar area as well. So I think it's the 23rd floor of the Claridge Hotel. So check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good stuff.
All right. So then, Lori, you found a restaurant. So on Yelp, it had 4.2 stars. Called is it Sapore or Sapore?
I don't know.
You say Sapore, I say Sapore.
It's
Sapore.
I support it.
Sapore.
It's Italian, right?
Sa-
Support it.
Sapore.
It's in
Ventnor.
You know, the challenge every time is to find Laura a place to eat that has gluten-free pizza.
Because I already had gluten for
That is like, that is one of our first goals when we are going to go to a
And I
race
appreciate you
destination.
trying to find me
Yes.
some gluten-free pizza.
Yes. So I found a place that looked like it had good pizzas, a good mix of things. So unfortunately, we did not realize that Sapore was.
BYOB, bring your own beverage.
Yeah, which for us is like a little,
Wah.
yeah.
But
Thank you, Laura.
then immediately I was like, oh, this is not acceptable. So I immediately went and searched for where's the closest like wine store, beverage store. And it was right across the street.
Like any good BYOB restaurant knows that the liquor store is right across the street for your convenience.
So I was like, I'll be right back, girls. So I went across the street and
Got us a lovely
Bought-
Coppola.
Yes, a Coppola Cabernet.
Yeah.
Yes. It was very, very good.
Delicious.
Yes. So Maddie, what did you have at the restaurant?
I ordered, so I don't always subscribe to the pizza superstition. I subscribe to a lot of your superstitions, but pizza's not one of them, the night before marathon. So this time I did chicken cacciatore with some spaghetti, and it was
Delicious.
absolutely delicious. They knocked it out of the park, and it was at least 2 servings worth of food. So I had breakfast for this morning too.
Oh, nice.
So it made its way back. Good.
It did. It made its way back. Yeah.
She was talking at dinner like, I'm going to have this for breakfast in the morning before a marathon. I'm like, dude, you're going to be burping up peppers and
You
onions.
two were like,
Like,
you're
Please
crazy.
don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't do that. And Lori, you had a
It's so
4-cheese
good.
white pizza,
Yeah,
right?
quattro formaggi with sausage, and it was excellent.
Yeah, no, yours
Very
looks,
good.
yours look good.
I
And
can vouch for that. Lori's pizza was good.
was
Yeah.
it good? Yeah. And I had a Hawaiian pizza.
And how was the gluten-free crust on that one?
Yeah, it was okay. If there are other folks that have celiac, I wouldn't necessarily recommend that as like the pizza of choice. So, but it was okay.
Okay.
Hey, I was happy that I could go and eat something. I was glad I could eat a pizza.
Yeah.
It was not one of my favorites, so it was very dry.
It wasn't one of those that had like,
Oh, it wasn't like, oh my God.
this is it.
Oh my God. No,
Yeah.
it was like, it's edible. So yeah, it's all good. It's okay. I appreciate though the fact that they have an option, But they did have several different things that I could have chosen from. Like they had a gluten-free like cheese ravioli, and I mean there were probably like 5 or 6 different things on the menu that I
Oh
could
yeah,
actually
you're
go.
looking at the stuffed shells. They had gluten-free stuffed
They had
shells.
gluten-free stuffed shells, which I
Should've-
probably should have gone with that.
Yeah,
You know,
because
No
you
one ever has that. I've
yeah.
never seen that at another Italian
I've
restaurant.
never seen that at another Italian restaurant either, Maddie, and I probably should have gone with that, but that's okay.
yeah.
Next, we just have to go back to Ventnor and run the Atlantic City Marathon again.
Okay.
So moving on. Race start. Well,
Wait,
okay, wait, let me
Yeah.
all right. Let's cover down this. So in 2022, when we ran that, it rained. We'll call it the last half,
At least.
at least of that marathon. And it was cold and rainy, and
Cold.
there wasn't a lot going on in Atlantic City. And in all fairness, before we interviewed Jeannie, and I felt a little guilty, like you and I both said,
We'd never run Atlantic City Marathon ever again.
never again. Like
Yeah.
that was done. Like we did it. We did New Jersey. We're done. Like it's
Never
good.
again.
Never again.
But
And
we ran it again.
and then we ran it again. I will say my experience yesterday
Totally different.
was completely different.
Yes.
So we're jumping ahead, but my feelings were very different.
I agree.
I had a more positive experience. Matter of fact, we might as well go ahead and get started on our race day.
I totally agree. Now, the one thing that I really liked, and we all said this, was the bibs, the size of the bibs.
Oh, perfection.
Like the
I loved
perfect
it.
size bib. And we've talked about this in previous episodes where like, you know, for women, you give us a bib where it starts like above our boobs and goes down to our belly button, way too big. Thank you for putting the sponsors so much on the
Like it's like a
bib,
man eater.
right?
Yes.
Like it's gonna like just like take over my entire torso. These were the perfect size. And Maddie, you even said too, you were like, this is the first time, so this is your 5th marathon.
Mhm.
Said like this was like the first time you had perfect placement on your shirt. It didn't like mess up with anything
There
else.
was no crinkle sound every time I made a movement. It was
Yeah,
great.
because the bibs in the past have been like way too big. So
Mhm.
bibs, perfect size.
Thank you.
Jeannie, please keep them the same size going
Yes.
forward.
And any other race director that's listening right now, you guys need to take a note and go call her and figure out where they're ordering their bibs from, because it should be the standard
You know what we
size.
need to do, because I had kept my bib. I'm gonna go and measure it, and then Maggie's gonna take a picture of it, and she's gonna go and put the dimensions on it because that's the dimensions that a bib should be for a woman, and
Yeah.
that you default to the smallest people in your race.
Yeah, for anybody.
Yes.
For anybody.
Yeah. Okay. So that's that.
Yeah. So race morning.
Yes.
I had a typical race morning, except that because we were so close, as we said, we were able to get down to the start, a little bit closer to the actual start time. So we were down there at like 7:45 for an 8 a.m. start.
There wasn't any music playing, or that like there was a hint of music, but we really couldn't hear it.
Yeah. So we, trying to be true to form with where we kind of should be in the race and for our finish time, we did get a little bit further up closer, but we were definitely more towards the back. And my only critique about the start that morning would be that you could not hear shit. They needed one more speaker down by where the theater, where the hook,
The hook,
where the
theater.
hook is showing.
That's where we were.
They needed one more speaker because nobody could hear the national anthem, any of the announcements. If there was anything going on that was important, everybody in the back missed that.
I mean, it didn't even sound like Charlie Brown's teacher, like wah 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 wah. I think we heard the national anthem as it was finishing.
Yeah, and we were like, shh.
Yeah.
And people were like, oh, I didn't even hear it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that would be a critique.
Mhm.
And then the half and the full start together. So
Super fixable though.
yeah, totally fixable.
Yeah.
Totally fixable. And then the half and the full start together. So, again, because there were more people at the start, I felt like there was good energy,
Yeah.
that was going on. But again, because you couldn't hear the music and stuff like back where we were, like sometimes that hypes up a crowd and stuff as well. So that might be something just to go and consider in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But started very promptly at 8 a.m.
Promptly.
Yeah.
Like on the money.
Boom. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was a great start. It was
And
nice.
and it didn't take us long to get to the start line.
No, I mean, I think maybe there was like maybe 2 minutes
Yeah,
between
if
my
that.
chip time and the gun time.
Yep. So the I like the next note. We're going to talk about the porta potties.
Yeah. Well, it was one of the first things we noticed when we started running. And by the way, can I also take a sidebar? I feel so bad for dudes and during a race because if a dude is standing in line for a porta, he's got to take a dump.
Yeah.
Like there's no question. If he had to go just go pee, he'd go
He'd just
somewhere.
go-
He'd
he'd
go
go pee
pee
in a
somewhere.
vineyard.
You would find a place to go pee. I was sitting there watching all these dudes in line for the porta johns, and I'm like, oh man, like they all clearly have to take a dump. Like a woman, you just don't quite know, could be pee, could be poo.
Yep.
Nope, dudes.
Yep, dudes. Nope.
We all know what you're doing in there,
Nope.
buddy.
Oh, it's number two. Yeah, man, we were rocking and rolling. Our pace
For us.
and I don't remember what mile it was. Was it maybe like mile 6 or 7?
Well, we paced out very nicely up until the first stop, which was at 5 miles where
It was 5 miles.
Mm-hmm.
And well, when did I hit the porta john? Because that's when the 5 hour like pacers like went in front of us.
5:30. We were between the 5 hour and 5:30.
We were between them.
Yes.
Yeah, like we were rocking and rolling that first part of the race.
Yeah,
And
I was like, we're Maddie and I are sitting there stretching while you're in the porta john, and I'm like, I look up and I go, holy shit. Because there was a 5:30 pacers. I was like, wow.
yeah, and then I nuked us for the rest of the race. It was just
Didn't matter. We weren't out there for PR.
I know, but I
That's okay.
bathroom like what 5 times? Was it 5 times? Yeah.
There was an awesome volunteer that saw Lori and I stopped off on the side stretching, and she was offering, things that have electrolytes in them. I think she was offering like fuel to some capacity, so like any
Can I
food.
offer your friend some Imodium?
No, she was talking to us. She didn't realize we were waiting for you because we were across the street in the shade. So she just saw us stretching, thinking we were having issues.
Oh,
This was at the one at mile. That was your first
that
stop.
was my first stop.
Because that was
The one where the lady hazed everybody who was in the bathrooms.
Yes,
Like
that one.
another runner was like
Different
outside the
lady.
bathrooms, like yelling at everybody me and a gentleman who were in the bathrooms that like, can you please hurry up? I just have to pee. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah, like you have any control over how long you're in there.
Really? Okay, all righty. I got you a number.
Yeah, but she was very concerned, thinking that we were upset and came over and was trying to be very attentive. So top-notch race crew. Very good
Mhm.
job on that one.
Yeah.
And it's like, we're fine. Everything's good. I'm like, we're just waiting. But it was just cool that she took the time to come out and check on us.
Yeah, now I would say that for a person that was in need of a porta john for most of the race, there was a sufficient number of porta johns for probably the first half of the race. Second half of the race, not so much so. So that would be another critique is just, like where the porta johns are placed. In fact, I remember, between like it was we were coming back after like turning around at 17. And like we were coming back to like that point where we hit Matthew like 3 times in the race. And you kept pointing out like construction porta johns, and like I was like, dude, I was like I gotta go into the person's yard in order to do that. And I was like, I just didn't feel comfortable doing that.
Yeah.
And then I didn't know if they were like zip tied, because sometimes they zip tie them, because that would be like just, you get that sensation of like, yes. And they were like, nope. Which is the worst when you have to use a porta john. But yeah, that was the ass end, or like the non, what would I call it? The non-boardwalk portion of the race did not have a lot of porta johns.
No,
There was a little porta john.
they were a little bit more sparse.
Yes, so that would be a critique for somebody that desperately needed a porta john for a period of time.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to talk about, my porta john situation.
Now, as far as the course goes, I know we talked a little bit about the course, and how we felt like we were looping around the Borgata a lot in the beginning. It is I've never said this before for any race, that actually the full gets the pretty part of the
I
race.
totally agree.
I really feel like I feel bad almost a little bit for the half marathoners, because I'm like, yeah, this experience is really cool. But I feel like what you see in the second half of the race is really pretty. You kind of get down into Margate and into Ventnor, You get into big, beautiful houses, neighborhoods that have been redone. You get to see the Lucy, the big ass elephant in Margate.
Yeah. And then you run by a marina,
Yeah.
in Margate City. So yeah, it's
And you've got the
beautiful.
full boardwalk. I mean, you run the entirety of the boardwalk. I think maybe
Mhm.
there's a small span at the end that we missed, but not much.
Yeah, no,
Mhm.
I
And
totally agree.
you run all the way down to the point that's at Longport.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
Now going back into 2022, just for context, the weekend before we ran Atlantic City, we
Oh, yeah.
ran the Mount Desert Island Marathon, which is up in Acadia National Park up in Maine.
It's spectacular.
Spectacular.
It's probably one of the most beautiful courses in the country,
Yes.
next to Big Sur.
Yes. Yes.
Hands down.
Yes, hands down. So we ran that the weekend before we ran Atlantic City in 2022. So
Which is hard. Poor, I'm sorry, Atlantic City.
yes, in 2022, poor Atlantic City, because I remember when Lori and I were running at some point in time in the very beginning of the race, and you come, like kind of over this overpass, and you have the view of some water. It's more of like the intercoastal,
Yeah.
and you have, some boats and some condos, and then some power lines. And there was a gal that was running by us, and she's like, "Oh my God, isn't this gorgeous?" And Lori and I were like, "Blah."
I guess.
Now, fast forward, in our race yesterday, we really appreciated like just some of the ocean views and some of the bay views and so forth. But it definitely like you like at the time in 2022, you just couldn't compare. You
Yeah,
couldn't
our
compare.
perspective was very shifted. And I
It was
think
very swayed.
I think good for Atlantic City that we also had over a month between Marathon du Marac
Yes.
and this. Now there was a little stretch there that we were near some parking garages and empty lots and things that I was visualizing the vineyards to get me through that part because it wasn't overly scenic. But there are a lot of scenic parts to the course.
There are.
Mhm.
And,
It's
and
not the,
gorgeous houses to go and look at. I mean, I
yeah,
just like, yeah, we just kept commenting at every house, or some of the really weird ones too. We were like, oh, that's a Sopranos house.
yeah. That's interesting choices there.
It's like,
We call that our mother-in-law voice, our little kind of judgy to think about there. Yeah, I I have to say what a difference weather makes.
I totally agree.
Weather makes a huge difference on how you feel about a race at the end of the day.
I totally agree. Now, Maddie, one of the things that we all agreed on is that, when we came out of like the Borgata, I'm just going to call it the Borgata loops, right? And we got back onto the boardwalk, right? Like one of the things that we had to do was we had to cross through the start finish area to keep going out on the boardwalk, right? To do our loops and so forth. What happens when we kind of pass through the start finish for the first time, or I guess the second time after we like started?
Well, I think there was a communication breakdown from some of the people that were helping to run the race and kind of direct people as to where they should be running on the boardwalk.
Yeah.
There were also spectators and things, and I think by that point it had started getting warmer, so people were edging toward the shade more on the boardwalk as much as they could. All of that being said, there were multiple points where the runners, in terms of direction in which they were running, ended up crossing over each other. So, for example, when we passed the finish, we were on the left side of the boardwalk. But then at some point, the runners started coming in on our left side, coming against us. So, mostly runners coming in from the half marathon. So, we're then moving over to the right. And then shortly after that, some of the, first people coming in from the marathon are now coming on our right, coming at us because the race is essentially like an out and back. So you have the motorcycle kind of making its noise with the police lights and everything, and you're trying to get out of the way to the left side while also not running into other runners that are coming in the opposite direction. So it, it was a breakdown in communication that I think either one person or two people probably like messed it up at each instance that that was happening. But I think overall, I mean, there's enough space on the boardwalk. It's just, it's really detrimental, I think, to the people coming in like the first couple places for the marathon that are trying to PR or they're trying
I
to
agree.
really like crush a flat race. Maybe they're trying to get into Boston next year, things like that. So I think just a tiny bit more organization there could help. Because it was kind of confusing to us as to like which side we should be running on. I don't think enough people were out there telling us what we needed to do.
I think it became more clear once that first marathoner was coming in. Like
Hmm.
we were filtered to, because again, like mentally, you have to prepare when you're doing this course. If you're doing the full, you are going to pass the start line
Hmm.
before the halfway point. So that's always a thing to know
You pass it, but they
visually.
don't make you go underneath
Yeah,
it,
you
which
don't
is
go
good.
through it, which is wonderful. Yeah, we have done that before, which is not
We
ideal,
have,
but
and that sucks.
that sucks. But you go right by it, you're right next to it because it's all on the same boardwalk. So I feel like at that point there should have been maybe we should have stayed left. People
Yeah.
coming in were coming down from the right. So when the marathoner was coming in from the right, and then when we got to the far end of the boardwalk, we were supposed to be on our left. So I think we were supposed to
Yes.
be left the whole time. But then there were people like the second place, third place man, the first place woman. They weren't told, I think, to stay to their
They
left.
came down on our left.
They
It's
came
like, it's like,
down, yeah, they came down on their right, which is
yeah,
our left,
yeah.
which pushed us back to the right. Like I just think that maybe right where those people were coming in
Mhm.
competitively, they should have been like, stay to the left, stay to like everybody just needs to stay to the left. And I
Yeah.
don't know the right way to communicate all that, but I just think it maybe even in
I
the
mean,
email communications going out.
yeah, I mean, we've been in races where like something similar, right, in terms of like just navigating, like making the space. And they've actually had staff who have said, just stay to your left, stay to your left, right?
Yeah,
So it's maybe like one or two people that just reiterate that, for the runners. Because again, you want to, as a runner, you want to respect the people that are freaking hauling.
because they're so
They're
amazing to watch.
so amazing to watch,
Yeah,
and
I
you,
admire
you
them.
don't want to mess them up. I mean,
No, I don't
like
want
you
to
don't
be
want
in
to
the
be that
way.
person,
No.
so that would be your own, because like for us, like we're just kind of like, all right, we'll navigate wherever we need to go, and be. But
Hmm.
just knowing that ahead of time, or just having somebody direct, or having just a couple of signs, here and there, like runners going out, stay left,
Stay left.
would
Yeah.
would have been, sufficient. So
Yeah.
now the one thing that you have to be careful of, because you are running several, was at least like 3+ miles out on the boardwalk, is you just have to be careful of the boardwalk. I mean, it's wood. It gets weathered. Some pieces
Softer.
are softer. I mean, there was one point where Lori was in front of me, and she stepped on like this soft part, and I was like, dude, like your whole like foot just kind of like sunk like a half an inch.
It was a little alarming. I'm like, please stop.
Like holy crap. So like you just have to be careful. And then there are a lot of screws that are in the boardwalk, but then there are also older portions of it where there are nails, and the nails have risen up. So you have to just be conscious of picking up your feet. Some of the planks are uneven, but it is kind of nice to go and run
Oh,
on the
the
wood.
recovery. So
Yeah.
it's almost like a trail run, but almost even better because the boardwalk is so spongy and you do run 8 miles of the marathon or on the boardwalk. And it like I feel probably better today than I would have had those 8 miles also been on asphalt slash concrete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean it's really nice. It
Yeah.
is. It's wonderful.
Yeah,
Hmm.
no, I totally agree. Now, Maddie, what was your experience with all the volunteers?
Just generally very positive. Everyone was, offering as much as they could at that time. Um, the volunteers kind of understood the drill in terms of like, okay, these runners are trying to go really quickly, so we're going to try to go really quickly for them. And Lori, you actually pointed out a really good trick that you use when you come to refreshment stops, where you essentially say like, I'm not in a rush. It's okay.
Yeah.
You can take your time.
Because
And
we have refillable water bottles
that we carry.
and if they think that you're in a rush, sometimes they pour so quickly that the entire water bottle and handle
Which
gets
happened
wet.
to me. And that's how this conversation came out. Cause I was
Yes.
like, oh, like, and cause you hate taking a cup because they pour the water into those, for runners that aren't carrying water.
mhm.
But yeah, somebody went and filled up my water bottle and friggin' splashed water all over my water bottle. And Lori's like, oh, I usually tell them like, I'm not in a rush. Like, it's
Slow
okay.
down.
Like, slow down. Cause they're like, they're thinking like, I'm like, dude, I don't do anything for time.
No. So it's also important when we're giving our critiques about any race. I'm just going to do our disclosure one more time. We are always coming from a back of the pack perspective. And
Yeah.
when I say back of the pack, I mean we are probably within 5 minutes of any course cutoff, period. Like that's just whether it's 6:30, 7 hours, 6 hours, like we wind up coming just under whatever the course
under the wire.
whatever the course limit is, we're right there.
Yeah. We just, it is what it is.
That's what it
We
is.
just
That's
need to
okay.
do the bridge next week.
Yeah.
That's okay.
No, there's 3 gauntlets now.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, we'll talk about
Okay,
those
we're
next
gonna,
week.
we're gonna, no,
We'll
you
get
need,
to those next week.
But yeah, so the race volunteers were also at like the refreshment stops. They would take the entire jug of water and, pour it either into the water bottles, or I have a running backpack that's got like a little camelback thing. So that was super convenient and quick for us, instead of like pouring 4 cups of water into something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
It
I
was
totally
terrific.
agree. Now, my son-in-law was the absolute bombs. He showed up,
Matthew.
You're not worthy.
yeah, and Matthew came with your dog Chopper, and who was absolutely wonderful. If you're on YouTube, Maddie is grabbing the chop chop right now. Hello, chop chop.
I think Chopper has been in our podcast before
I think
for
he
our
has.
girls' weekend and maybe a few episodes on your couch upstairs.
I think he has. I
Yeah.
think he has.
He went right back to laying on his back.
Yes. So Matthew and the Chop Chop, they end up showing up. He had a little seat to sit on, and we had stashed our mile.
Well,
Wait, okay.
for the record, I had found our mile 20 beverage and I had approached you guys and I said, well, it is a little out and back section there where we could hit it like right after 18 and then again at 20.
But you didn't mention that until
No, I said that first and you're like, well, I
no,
think
no, 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 no,
Matthew's
wait,
going
wait,
to
wait. You mentioned that when we were already in Atlantic City.
Right.
So Maddie,
True. Yes,
so I
that's
had
true.
already purchased beverages for the day, and I packed extra stuff.
Yeah, I wasn't prepared for that.
And then you mentioned,
I mentioned my spot and then you guys talked about Matthew.
Mm-hmm.
and we were like, well, Matthew's coming, so he can actually, like, once you plant, like, he could actually be around in that spot because then he could see us, like, come back into this area like literally 3
Well,
times.
Maddie, I think, had already found the spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a total sweet spot there's a point at Monroe Street or Monroe Avenue and Atlantic City Avenue, and you hit it right after the 14-mile mark, right after the 17-mile mark, and then right around the 21-mile mark. It was terrific. So, got to see my husband 3 times, got to see my dog 3 times, and we got to refuel with drinks 3 times. Or at least have the opportunity to do so.
Like, thank God we prepared with Medoc. I felt like that became a training run for Atlantic City.
And the fact that I had brought like a whole bunch of extra beverages.
Yes.
Yeah.
So at mile 14, I partaked in a Down East.
I had a Prosecco and Maddie had a Red Bull and vodka.
With the wild berry Red Bull.
Yep. And then the second go around, Maddie, you opted out.
Yep.
You had the Red Bull.
I had Red Bull and vodka.
And then I had another Prosecco. And then the third go around, I had a Down East. And
I had a half a Red Bull because of my caffeine sensitivity. I was up half the night. Had a half a Red Bull and vodka, but a full vodka.
And I did another Red Bull and vodka, which was my third Red Bull of the day. I stayed up kind of late last night.
I'm sure you did.
Yeah. So that was a triple.
That was a triple.
Yeah, it was a triple. So
I made that happen.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. But it was great going and seeing Matthew and Chopper, and he was very, very supportive. And he came. So after the race, we went to go and see the Eagles play for like the last, I don't know, like maybe like 9 minutes of the game or something like that.
Well, no, I think we made it almost for all the fourth quarter, didn't we?
Did we?
When we were running back along the bay
That's awesome.
in Margate, we saw all these people walking in their Eagles gear because I was like
We were like,
12:30.
go birds, go birds, go
Yeah.
birds, go,
And-
go birds.
And we're like starting to point out like all the Eagles bars, like, oh, we should come back to this area. And then we look out on one of the, it's like a little
It's a floating
it's a
cinema
marina. Yeah, it was like at a restaurant, marina type place where people tie
called
up their
Tidewater.
boats. Yeah, Tide Line.
Oh, Tide Line. I'm sorry,
Tideline.
Tide Line.
Yeah, and
I
they had a
Tide Pods.
huge digital screen showing the game.
Gigantic.
With like full sound speakers. I mean, it was people were sitting on their
It looked like
boats.
high def too.
Oh, yeah. It
Yeah.
was beautiful. And we're like, we have to come back here. So we did.
Yes, we did. We did. And I think I took a picture of it. I have the picture somewhere in our picture reels when we were running the race. Because like the game had just started and you could see like the commentators. And when the Eagles came out, they had these like freaking smoke machines that pumped smoke in the air. I was like, holy crap, that's like for reals, man.
Yeah. No,
I told one of my coworkers about that bar earlier today, who he spends quite a bit of time just outside of Atlantic City. I think he said that his in-laws have a house in Ventnor. And so I told him about the bar because he's kind of into football, so good for a reference later. So
Outstanding. No, totally recommend it. So while we didn't eat there or anything, like it was cool to go and be part of the vibe, because we weren't at the stadium or anything like that. So and it was a away game, but
yeah.
Yeah.
So any last thoughts, favorite parts of the race? Anything you guys want to conclude with?
I think all of the runners that we came across were incredibly nice. Aside from the one woman that was hazing people while they were in the porta potty at the first porta potty stop.
And a lady that took
Um,
Lorri.
all runners were really, really nice.
Yeah.
All of the volunteers were great. I think that the race was really well run. The only confusion point really was the moment on the boardwalk where we didn't know which side we needed to run on. So I think overall, really great job. I had a ton of fun, which I think it was the most fun that I've had during a marathon yet. Um,
Oh, that's nice,
Good
Matt.
to hear that, Mandy. That's
I
awesome.
love that.
welcome.
I love that. I love
I
that.
didn't have to check my
we
shoulder
gave her
for
a good
bear.
mile 20 podcast experience.
Yeah.
Hmm?
I said I feel like you got the good like mile 20, like
Yeah. Yeah.
like the vibe. You had the vibe like for those 2 days.
I had a ball.
I did too.
When all those drinks started kicking in and the music was going, I was like, yeah.
Yeah. The thing I really love was when we were coming in, still running on the boardwalk. It was like the last couple of miles. And like you two were like in front of me, and I was like keeping pace with you, like, but I was behind you. And you could see like the other runners that they would try to surge and like run in front of us, and then they'd walk for a really long period of time and then surge. And in my mind, because I know you've said it, Lorri, you're like, this is what 60 now 64 marathons looks like, right? Like
Yeah.
where we could just go and now like keep up the pace and so forth. Because again, like we screw around a lot during the race and we dance and I think you were doing something to some dolphin like mailbox,
Dolphin mailbox, and I think I circled a very rusty pole.
very rusty pole.
Yeah, you did.
And we probably need to get you a tetanus shot on it.
Yeah, maybe.
So like, again, it's about the journey. Now, the one thing I will say is that there was food that was offered at the end of the race. They had really like huge bagels and bananas and granola bars. Not an extensive amount of food, but there was food that if you wanted to partake in any of those. The only complaint that we will have is that at the end you had like a ticket on your bib to go and get like a beverage. So like a beer, seltzer, they had a couple of different offerings.
Free drink.
Free drink. And so
Free
Maddie,
drink that was paid for.
yes, and so Maddie and Lori went to the tent, and like she got like you guys both got like stiff armed,
Oh,
you
shut
know,
down. Like
like
we're
wait, no,
we're closed.
no, we're closed.
Closed.
And as soon as Lori made mention, like, so we have a podcast and we will be critiquing this. And all of a sudden it's like, wait, what do you need? What do you need?
Yeah,
so it's like, oh,
this goes
you know.
back to back of the pack perspective because nobody else thinks about this, but I want to say that there were quite a few people
There are a
still
lot of people behind us.
this. If it would be my preference if when the post party things are being planned, whatever your cutoff is, like I know you can't be there for an hour afterwards or whatever. I know that there's
It's a
got to
long
be,
day. We get it.
yeah, I get it. I know that there's got to be a defining line. But if the finish time is a 6:30 and I come in at 6:25, and we've had this, I think we talked about this at the Hartford Marathon.
Happened many times
I mean,
before.
it's happened many times. I should still be entitled to what I paid for. If I paid for a free beer at 2:28, 2:29, 2:30,
Right.
I should be able to walk up and get my beverage.
Don't penalize me because I'm a slower runner, but I finished in your time limit.
Yeah.
And like not give me the same experience that the first mofo that came across the finish line got.
Yeah.
Don't give me a different experience. That's
Yeah.
all we ask.
That's it.
all we ask.
Like you
So,
should have like a plus 30 for the finish line
but what I did
experience.
love is that the one woman, when the two guys that were just like, oh, you can't have any more, but then they gave you guys like two of the drinks, right?
Yeah.
That the one woman, when the two guys were gone, she was like, screw that. She just went over to the crate. She was just
Yeah.
grabbing shit. And we're like, good for you,
You know what? You do you.
So
Yeah.
So that would be my only critique of the race. So maybe that's something that that can go and be changed for next year. So now the shirts and the medals.
Wait.
Oh wait,
I did not talk about my wrap up.
What's your wrap up?
My wrap up was just kind of overall feels.
Yeah. Okay.
One, if I was to mentally prepare for this, I've already talked about crossing near the finish line before the halfway point. There's a lot of long straightaways.
Mhm.
It's unavoidable and it's part of the views and the charm. But there are a lot of times where you look deep into the distance and it's orange cones. So just mentally, you need to prepare for that. Or if you're on the
That's a good point.
boardwalk, it's long distances of like street signs, block after block of street signs for as far as you can see.
Or when you're on the boardwalk and you see like way in the distance, you're like, what hotel am I trying to get to? Because it just looks really far away.
It's really far away.
And you can see it.
But it's part
really
of the
far
course, and the course is very pretty.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's not a takeaway. It's just something to be
prepared
mindful
for.
of.
Yeah.
One thing, the volunteers overall were wonderful.
Spectacular.
Everything was well planned. There was one little glitch at the turnaround point at
16.
was it or
15, 15, 16.
15, 16. Where's the turnaround? That long point?
Longport.
Longport. Right at the turnaround, there was a water stop there. They had run out of water.
They had Gatorade, but no water.
Gatorade, no water. Everybody else had water. All the other stations thereafter had water. There were a lot of very young people at that station, so I don't know if maybe somebody was out getting more water to supply to runners or not. But I didn't also see that there was, I don't know. I don't know what the logistics were there, but that was just one.
They were playing
small note.
basketball.
Okay. But my takeaway was I loved the boardwalk. I loved the bay. I loved the beautiful houses. It was well run. I loved seeing the big fat elephant ass, Lucy and Margate.
Because you always got to put your finger, like, pretend that you're going up her butt.
Lucy is like
Never
the
gets old.
quintessential Margate figure. I think it was under construction when we ran in 22.
It was under scaffolding and
They
shrouded.
did a great job.
She looks beautiful.
She looks gorgeous.
Her ass is like
Bodacious.
Yes.
But as a sidebar, that's a mini golf course, right? Because I don't ever pay attention to what's actually
know what
under
it is. I don't know. You could go inside of her.
She does have a window for a butt hole.
I just snorted.
You can come inside her or what?
God.
Inside of her. Yes, yes.
We're digressing.
But Lucy,
Anyway.
but Lucy looks very pretty.
But Lucy's just it's cool seeing
Definitely a
Lucy.
landmark.
Yeah. And that's my wrap up.
I love the race, and the day was a little bit warmer than what I would have liked. It was in the 70s, but man, there was a breeze
Perfection.
that was kicking all day long.
Yeah.
So while in certain spots it was a little bit of a headwind, I took it because it kept the body cool. I know we sprayed ourselves down with sunscreen before we started the race, thank goodness, because
Yeah.
I had just one or two little spots yesterday when I came home and took a shower. And I'm like, oh, like, yep, like that was probably, from my shirt moving, but I was very, very happy that we sprayed up because I probably would have been a little crimson. So don't, if you're running AC and it's sunny, like even if it's cooler out, spray yourself with sunscreen because that sun will go and get you. But yeah, I mean, I thought that the weather was nice. It was much better than in 2022, that's for sure.
And it was much better than in Muddock
Yes.
at night. At
Yes.
a lovely 70 degrees with
Yes.
like
which is still way
15
too warm, but yes.
but it was a 15 to 20 mile per hour wind.
Yes.
So
Yep.
it's lovely.
Yep. So we'll totally take that. All right.
Yep.
Are we ready to talk about the shirts
We
and
can
medals
do that now.
Okay,
Yes.
because now we're done. All right, so Maddie, tell us about the shirts. Because Jeannie did a nice job of the race director of giving us, a little bit of backstory on how the shirts and the medals are created. But what's on the shirt?
Chopper's trying to play fetch with me right now, but on the shirt, you have the year, you have the fact that you are a finisher, the distance, and
26.2.
then we have an octopus that's got a trident and it seems to be opening a treasure chest. And Chopper's still trying to play fetch with me.
Yeah, and I love the color of the shirts. So they're long sleeves with hoodies, and
It's
they're
like a
kind of
fishing shirt.
right. It's kind of like a raspberry color.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't have any other shirts
This
in
color, no.
this color at all. So as soon as I saw the color, I was like, yay!
Yeah, it was very nice.
Well done, Jeannie and staff.
No, I
shirts
tell
are
you,
fabulous.
I was a little judgy at first because I saw it and I was feeling it and I'm like, oh, it's not very soft. It doesn't feel like it's going to breathe. And I was very nervous about the shirt when I picked it up and I was looking at it and just touching it. I put it on today and I'm like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
The material is great. It totally breathes. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
It's a keeper for sure. I can't wait.
I love it. And the medals were just
Spectacular.
absolutely spectacular. So going with the theme of the octopus, like over the treasure chest, the medal is actually a treasure chest. And if you're watching us on YouTube, Maddie is actually opening up the medal. So the medal actually looks like a treasure chest, but you can open it. On the inside, it has the 26.2 with like a bunch of like, it looks like gems and gold and stuff on the inside. So that was we only have one other medal, I think, that opens like that, and that was the Baltimore Marathon.
Yeah.
And those were crabs that opened up.
Yeah, we have that one. I feel like there was we have a few that are kind of interactive-ish.
Yeah, this
this is nice.
I
This is
really
nice.
really like the medal.
Yeah.
It was
Top notch.
Yeah, top notch, and it's huge and it's heavy too.
It is.
Like
I
Jim
loved
saw it
it.
last night. He's like, dude, that's a big medal. I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, it's a good size medal. So well done.
Well done.
Well done.
Mhm.
Yes.
So Maddie, would you run Atlantic City Marathon again?
I actually would. I thought everything was really well organized and the ease with which we could just step to the start. I mean, I haven't experienced that with a marathon yet. That was unique for me. So when you guys were talking earlier about like, oh, it was a very typical start to a marathon. No, it was not. We woke up so late compared to what we usually do. Like for an 8 o'clock start, I was surprised that our alarms were set for only like 6:15.
And we sneezed for a little bit too.
Yeah.
It was horrific. So yeah, that alone is something that would draw me back. I think also the energy of, the town and the volunteers, everything like that was really great. So absolutely would run again.
What about you, Laura?
I can't believe I'm going to say this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would.
Yeah.
I would. I can't believe I'd say that. I
I
would have never thought I'd say that.
I know I would as well. It kind of like between our experience a couple of years ago. Again, I think the rain really did a want on us.
And
the fact that it was right after
it
MDI.
was right after
It's
MDI.
right after MDI.
It wasn't fair to Atlantic City.
It was not fair. So I would as well.
Yeah.
I would as well. And exactly for the points, Maddie, that you just said. It's an easy race, and it's like an hour and a half drive for us, so it's kind of like in the backyard, and it's kind of nice to like spend a little time doing some good people watching. So we are so happy that we gave you a little bit of a recap of our experience yesterday at the Atlantic City Marathon. Great job, Jeannie, to her and her staff. I know that it takes a lot of effort to put on a race like that, and we give it 2 thumbs up. Definitely a success. And so next week, wow, this is going to be kind of hardcore. We are this coming weekend, this coming weekend.
Well, it's next week's podcast.
It's next week's podcast, but this coming weekend we are running the Marine Corps Marathon.
The 50th anniversary.
50th anniversary. And this is, it commemorates the 10th year since you and I ran the Marine Corps originally with each other in 2015.
Our first marathon we ran together.
Our first marathon. So this one's kind of special. So,
and we've only run 50 since then.
It's like, that's crazy, dude. Like 50 marathons in like 10 years.
Maybe more. It may have been more than that too.
It is actually
more than that.
It is actually more than that.
It has to be more than that.
So we got a couple of miles underneath us, but we were actually running that marathon with Lori's daughter Maggie. So Maggie will be with us next weekend. We'll probably have Maggie for a couple miles with us, and then she'll probably take off.
I don't even know if she's curating her own playlist.
Yeah, dude.
She has a goal to break 6 hours for this marathon.
You go, girl.
Quietly, she said that, and then I think she's gonna go for time for Philly.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good for her. Good for her. I mean, and every race you decide what kind of race you want to run.
Yeah.
So we're going to be doing that recap during our episode next week of Marine Corps Marathon. So hopefully we'll have Maggie joining us, and then the following week we're going to have a recap of Ocean City, Maryland as well with Maddie. So Maddie will be back with us, as well as Chopper, maybe.
Maybe.
Because Chopper's in the view right now.
Yeah.
But thank you for listening to us again. Thumbs up for the Atlantic City Marathon, and hopefully you enjoyed it. And now go make mile 20 your bitch this week.
Peace out.